Well, as we all know, that Fringe has taken a mid-season break where after 7 episodes, we won't be seeing no new episodes until January 12, 2012. I checked on IMDb, which stands for Internet Movie Database, and basically the next episode won't come on until January. So, and of course, if you've seen the Fringe promo, for the next episode, for episode 8, it's until January. So, for those who missed the entire 7 episodes, you can go back and kind of take a chill and catch up on it. Just like I'm about to do tonight, I'm going to probably watch the first 3 episodes just to kind of get myself, reconnected to what the story's about. But for the most part, I do admit that season 4 is really, really good. It deserves an A plus. I think it's probably Fringe is probably one of the best shows on TV right now. I mean, I know there's a lot of shows putting the work in, like Boardwalk Empire. We have a new show, American Horror Story, that's really catching the buzz. The Walking Dead, Good Wife, Criminal Minds. And of course Dexter, and we have a lot of, and even the new show Homeland. We have a lot of new shows that are putting the work in, that are trying to get the audience attention and build the revenue and the ratings so they can have more seasons to continue. Now, I do admit that for season 4, they kind of got like a Back to the Future type of theme going on here, where we all know that after Peter brought the two universes together to form a bridge so they can work out their problems. Now we go into season 4, and it's basically this bridge universe where Olivia and Astrid and Walter and Lincoln Lee all are sort of like brand new characters, a brand new story. It's the same characters, and as we all know, but in this time Peter is totally erased. So basically what happened was, we have to find out what happened to Peter, how did he get from the machine to this world. He arrived naked, so that means he's been playing with time travel. So the question is, did the observers erase him? And if they did, there was this one episode and on the Fringe where where Peter returned, and Walter explained to him that after he saved this Peter that we all know from the alternate universe and brought him to our world, and when that scene back in season 2 when he fell and basically almost drowned, well, the observers didn't, September didn't save him, so he let him die. So the question now is that if Peter is dead in our world and he died coming here to our world, then how come he's presently there? How come he's back if he's supposedly dead? So the question is that, it poses an interesting question as to, is Peter really dead? Is he still trapped in the machine? Is this just another vision of what would happen if Peter keeps coming back? We all know that Peter is sort of like a doomsday has a doomsday type of destiny. But the question is, was it his decision to go to this world? Because right now what Peter wants to do is he wants to go back home where he belongs. Obviously he misses Olivia because Olivia and Peter are in love. Now Lincoln and Olivia are in love. It's not like the same relationship that he knows. He can't seem to get any help from Walter because Walter has accepted the fact that both sons that he knew died. Astrid just wants to move on and try to make peace with both universes. Olivia just wants to do her job, but yet she doesn't know who he is or what he wants, or basically why they have a connection. But for the most part, I do agree that season 4 keeps getting better. I love the first episode when the Zeppelins flew by. I love the return of Peter. There's this great episode in terms of episodic, meaning, a case of the week, where this professor was trying to stop a serial killer, but it ended up being he had to stop himself from the alternate universe. I thought that was one of the best episodes they done in terms of episodic. In terms of story arc, obviously Peter Bishop's story where he comes back is fascinating. So for the most part, for best episodic episode, definitely check out the episode where the professor, the Fringe division recruits a professor to do a psychological profile, but then finds out he's doing a profile of himself in the parallel universe. So great episode. If you ever get to check it out, check that one out. But for the most part, I like the story arc of where they're going with this. We're going to find out, does Peter go back to home? If he doesn't, obviously the writers have a very interesting storyline as to why he can't go back home. But, I definitely want to see if Walton is going to help. I seriously doubt it. Maybe he's erased. But for some reason, somehow he has to get home, and he doesn't know how to get home. So the question is, will he ever go home? Is he going to be stuck in that world? If he's going to be stuck in that world, will he join this Fringe division? Will he cause damage there like he did in his own universe that he came from? It seems to pose more questions than answers. But I do say this for one thing. Fringe gets an A+, even with just the first 7 episodes. It is the best show I have seen so far. I don't watch it on a religious basis on TV. I more like download it and watch it on disc because, I don't really have the time because I work a lot. So, it's kind of hard to catch up on the show. But, if you get to watch it online or you get to download it, it's better to download it and keep it for yourself because of that way you're not spending like $60 on season 4, even though it's worth owning. But for the most part, I love where they're going with this. I mean, Lincoln Lee, he's kind of interesting because I guess he's the most interesting character for season 4 because he kind of is like, it's like starting over with a new character. Basically, Lincoln thought he knew the world, and then all of a sudden he gets involved in these Fringe events and find out the world is not what it seems. There are, alternate universes, and there are invisible people, and, there's paranormal phenomenons going on, and there's so many interesting things that, he's now understanding. And something, that's kind of like the person we're looking through the eyes of. We're looking through the eyes of Lincoln Lee to see, can he handle this new division called Fringe, where Peter went through the same problem. So, for the most part, it's a great show. I think that if Fox cancels this show, they're a bunch of dumbasses because they have a great hit. I hope that, Fringe knows what they're doing by taking a little break. I think it was kind of stupid for them to take a break right now because they're already on a borderline problem of being canceled. So I hope y'all know what you're doing because I'm very fascinated to see where this goes, where Peter has been disappeared. I hope that if the show gets canceled, that you guys work on a very fascinating plot to conclude the ending of this story to kind of give us an idea how the story will end. But for the most part, Fringe will definitely be one of the greatest science fiction, drama, action shows on TV. I'm not really crazy about some of the other shows that J.J. Abrams did, but, with this TV show being the greatest, and I love, Star Trek that he directed because the same writers who wrote Star Trek wrote, the pilot for Fringe, so, it kind of got us into that story arc, but, great show, for the most part. So I'm going to keep my eye on it, hopefully, Fringe will answer some more questions as to see where this is going, but, keep an eye on the show. Oops, sorry. I am playing with this. keep an eye on the show. I hope that, you all are enjoying it. Hit me up with your comments. Tell me what you think about Fringe. Do you think that Peter will ever go home? Do you think that Walton it will help? Do you think that Olivia holds the key to getting Peter back home? Because it's interesting that Nina keeps putting chemicals into Olivia's brain to kind of give her headaches. So I don't know if she's doing that to prevent Peter from going back to his own world, because she still has the power to transport herself without going into the machine. So, we're going to see, we hope to get some answers. And what does the Observer hold? Does he hold the key to getting Peter home? A lot of interesting questions that I hope these questions get answered. And please don't cancel the show before they get answered. So everybody stick with the show. I'm not saying that, I know, some people watch it. I don't watch it on TV. I rather just download it because I don't got time. So, but for the most part, I give the show A+++ from what I've seen so far. So hit me up. Tell me what you think of the show. Do you think that it's getting better or getting worse? You all take care of yourself. Remember, use your mind. It's your best weapon. And have a great weekend.